So every time I make the point that if you're an ex-Christian, you're not a Christian, some intellectual goofball comes at me with the no true Scotsman fallacy. Which, like I keep explaining to them, does not apply. Okay? Being an ex-Christian is like somebody who went to a real estate seminar, read the real estate book, sat there and does it over and over again, reads the book, does all of these behaviors to act like they want to sell real estate, but never actually learns how to sell real estate. You're not a realtor. In the same way, you cooperating with religious tradition, going to church, reading the Bible, praying, worshiping, whatever you think you're doing that made you a Christian, you didn't find God. That's why you can be an ex-Christian. How do you find the creator of all things in your journey of trying to be a Christian and then turn away? Do you know how powerful my God is? No, you didn't find him. You don't think he exists. That's why you calling yourself an ex-Christian. That means you never were a Christian. You never became a Christian. You called yourself a Christian. There's lots of people that call themselves Christians are not Christians. I see them every day. I can look at them and tell. Just like they can think they can look at me and tell that I'm not a Christian. That's a good indicator of that motherfucker ain't a Christian, is when they look at me like there's something wrong with me. So yeah, a Scotsman is a Scotsman because they were born in Scotland. Nobody's born a Christian except for chosen people like me. And even with that said, I still had to find God. I was born with a clean slate. I didn't know I was chosen until he told me I was chosen. You know how he told me I was chosen? Because I had to find him first for him to tell me that I was chosen. I had to find him. I had to look for him with all my heart, passionately, and found him. And when I found him, he said, "You're chosen. You had the Spirit of God since you were born." So all this, information that doesn't even really make any sense to me. I'm still trying to soak it all in. And my mission, I'm not even going to get into it, but my mission is crazy. I'm like, you want me to do that? Okay. You didn't find God. You never knew God. And if you don't know God, then you couldn't possibly believe in Jesus, which Jesus Christ, that name Christ, is why we call it a Christian. A Christian. You participated in religion. You didn't find God, which means you couldn't possibly believe in Jesus Christ, which means you couldn't possibly have ever been a Christian. You're not a Christian. You're an ex-Christian? No, you're not. You're like everybody else who don't have no faith, who aren't strong enough to, are attentive enough to actually seek God with your heart and find him. Y'all are playing games out here. So this whole ex-Christian thing, you're not an ex-Christian. There's no such thing as an ex-Christian. That is an impossibility. To find the creator of all things and then all of a sudden turn your back on him. You would have to be a suicidal idiot. Even if I didn't want to cooperate with God anymore, I would never be an ex-Christian. You understand? I'd still tell people to seek Jesus. You need him. He's done many, many things for me. He pushed me too far. I just don't want to do it anymore. But you should. That's what I do. I'd still be preaching the gospel. I'd still be trying to get people to find God for their own benefit. And me not necessarily cooperating with God anymore doesn't necessarily mean I go to hell. I still might be saved. I still, all through it, still might be saved, still might go to heaven. As a chosen person, he says I automatically go to heaven. I can do anything I want. Because my heart was trained from birth to do what God wants me to do, which is why I do what God wants me to do. So he's telling me there's no way for you to mess this up. I go to heaven, period. Which I've never said that before because first of all, it sounds ridiculous. To me, it sounds unfair. Like me from birth, before I did anything or even knew anything, I got a free ticket, free pass to heaven. That's kind of fucked up. For some reason, nobody should. But again, I'm out here walking the walk, doing things that y'all will never fathom of doing for God. Actually listening to him, doing brazy shit. for the sake of being obedient to God. So at the end of the day, it's kind of not unfair. What would be unfair is for a bunch of people that weren't never Christians talking about they ex-Christians going to heaven because they claim to be saved once. That would be unfair. All the shit that I've been through and all the shit that I've done. Shit. We'll see. Ex-Christian. Get out of here.